If you only know Isaac Newton for the apple, you don't know him at all. Because while he was building modern science, he was losing himself. December 1642. The sky over Woolsthorpe, England, was dark and silent. Cold air crept between stone houses. The wind moaned through the doors. And that night, a storm broke, as if the heavens were struggling to give birth to a new age. With that storm, one of history's most brilliant yet loneliest minds entered the world. Isaac Newton was born on Christmas Day, so small he could fit in the palm of a hand. No one believed he'd survive till morning. His mother wrapped him in a blanket, trembling, listening for a breath. But perhaps destiny whispered, "This child will decode the language of the universe." Newton's childhood was forged in silence. His father died before he was born, and his mother left him at 9. The only sounds were the wind and his heartbeat. But that silence became the echo of questions that would change the world. Why does the apple fall? And why doesn't the moon fall from the sky? He pressed his fingers against dusty windows, staring long at the heavens. He stopped playing games, built sundials, measured the wind, and listened to nature's whispers. Villagers called him the strange boy. But he was searching for God's fingerprints in nature. Even when expelled from school, Newton didn't give up. Knowledge wasn't an escape, it was salvation. He filled notebook margins with tiny words, ink staining his hands. And one night, by candlelight, he wrote, "I seem to have been only like a boy playing on the seashore, while the great ocean of truth lay undiscovered before me." The candle flickered, perhaps the quiet beginning of one of humanity's greatest discoveries. Newton entered Cambridge University. Through the cold stone halls of Trinity College, the quiet country boy walked with shy steps. Each echo whispered, "You don't belong here." But that isolation only fed the storm inside. Days were filled with the rustle of pages, nights with the gaze of stars. He didn't just want to see the universe, he wanted to understand it. He sensed an invisible order behind numbers, laws that felt like the words of God. In the year of 1665, the plague consumed England. Cambridge closed. Newton returned home to Woolsthorpe. But solitude became his ally. He watched a beam of light through his window, dust dancing, picked up a prism and revealed hidden colors within the light. It was as if God whispered, "Light is not pure." Around the same time, an apple fell, and the idea of gravity was born. For Newton, gravity was not just force, it was divine order made visible. His notebooks overflowed with formulas and symbols: lead, mercury, sulfur. He wasn't chasing gold, he was searching for the soul of matter. In his lab, the smell of metal mixed with hot glass vapors, two worlds collided: experiment and faith, mathematics and mysticism. Newton rejected neither. To him, science was a path toward God's plan. Back at Cambridge, Newton was no longer just a student, he was a rising genius. In the lab, glass spheres and prisms covered his desk. He turned the prism, light split across the wall, red, green, blue, yellow. He held his breath, realizing white light was not pure. When all colors unite, they disappear. Humanity's understanding of light would never be the same, but every discovery casts a shadow. Hooke and others doubted him. Newton withdrew into silence. He hid his gravity theory for years, fearing the world wasn't ready. Nights grew darker. His hands trembled, his body weakened, but he kept writing. Until, in 1687, silence broke into words. Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica. The universe had been written into language. Every formula was a prayer. Every equation, a step toward the divine. Chasing the light, Newton had been following God's footsteps. If you've made it this far, maybe an apple has fallen on your head too. Because sometimes an idea falls silently and changes everything. Here, we chase those sparks of science. Every like, comment, and subscription keeps that light alive. Join us. Let's grow this journey together. 1690s. Newton stood at the peak of the scientific world, but inside, shadows deepened. His notebooks filled with mystical symbols, Latin prayers, and mercury-stained pages. He mixed glowing liquids through sleepless nights, trembling but unstoppable. He sought not wealth, but the divine spirit within matter. Sweat ran down his forehead. The air was heavy with metal and obsession. Most of what survives of Newton's writing is not physics, but alchemy. Hundreds of formulas, symbols, and coded reflections on nature's soul. Then, one night, the mercury fumes poisoned him. Headaches, confusion, paranoia followed. Letters became fragmented, a nervous breakdown historians still discuss today. "God, I do not know what I may become," he wrote in 1693. The philosopher of light had become the chemist of darkness. He died leaving over 10,000 handwritten pages, edges burned, ink faded. Cambridge hid them for centuries, too mystical for science. When revealed, they shocked the world. Newton had not only sought physics, but the invisible spirit behind it. He was both scientist and sorcerer. Years passed. The young man who split light became an old philosopher crowned with medals, but peace never returned. In his London home, morning light filtered through curtains. He turned the brittle pages of his notebooks, remembering the prism and the colors on the wall. Even then, he believed there might still be a message from God in that light. His days slowed. Outside, horses echoed on the cobblestone streets. As master of the Royal Mint, he fought counterfeiters with precision. But at night, he returned to his mercury-stained notes, his face glowing in candlelight, science and faith still waging a quiet war within him. March 1727. Newton's hands folded on his chest. He took one deep breath and closed his eyes. No words, no ceremony, only silence. After his death, boxes of manuscripts were opened, thousands of pages carrying the scent of time. Inside, the world found two Newtons: the cold scientist who revealed the universe's laws, and the mystic who searched for its soul. Some called him the father of modern science. Others, the last magician. Perhaps he was both, because as he illuminated the universe, he discovered the darkness within himself. And that's why Newton's story never ends. Even today, his notes whisper unanswered questions, like a mystery still waiting in silence. Isaac Newton tried to illuminate the darkness of the universe and discovered his own. He reminded us how science can be both magical and deeply human. If this story moved something inside you, a like, a comment, or a subscription helps keep these journeys alive, because every bit of support allows us to keep chasing the unseen. But the story doesn't end here. The next chapter leads us to another mind who touched the invisible, a woman who uncovered a force so powerful it changed the world and paid its price with her own body. From the darkness of alchemy to the glow of radioactive light. Next stop, Marie Curie. Thank you for watching, and, as always, take care of yourself.